The morning was here, and Bjorn headed out to the commercial district to buy necessary equipment. After training with Einar for quite a long time, he had learned that he definitely wasn't fit to be a swordsman. His plan was to only use shield techniques after a point. So building proficiency in swordsmanship would be pointless. This is why he was looking for a one-handed blunt weapon. The shopkeeper showed him a large collection of blunt weapons that barbarians prefer. These were good-looking weapons that Bjorn knew would fit a barbarian's taste, but he asked for a more normal-looking one. The shopkeeper handed him a simple bronze mace, which immediately caught his eye. It was a small mace that cost 220,000 stones. After that, he did some more shopping, buying himself a custom fit helmet and a half armor plate that fit him perfectly as well, which cost him 530,000 stones. Now he was left with only 50,000 stones. A lot of time had passed since he had left the labyrinth, and his daily routine eventually set itself. He also met Erwin every day. He would wake up at 7 in the morning and get some breakfast with Erwin. Then he headed to the library and read until afternoon. After that, he always ate lunch at new locations, just so he could gather information that wasn't readily available in the books of the library, listening to adventurers speak. At around 5, he would make his way to the end where the barbarians were living, and he would train there. By the 7th day of training, he started to go up against different barbarians, testing out his strength against the lot. There were no techniques or systematic combat skills involved in these duels. It was just a fight with your instincts, and that was good practice for the labyrinth. After regular training, he had become strong enough that he could even win against Einar sometimes in duels. During the duel, she would compliment him on his skills improving. Although when he beat her, he would tell her that she had a pattern of fighting, but since it was habitual, Einar had a hard time changing her patterns. At night, he would get home and wash up, after which it was time for Erwin to come see him again. He walked out of the shower and saw her there. He asked her how she could make the 1-hour walk journey every single day, but she was usually just happy to see him and wanted to eat dinner with him. They would be together till 11 p.m., after which she bid him goodnight as it was time for her to leave. After that, she stood there for a second, looking back at him and telling him good luck for the labyrinth, because the day was almost there. They were going back in tomorrow. As he wished Erwin the same for her time in the labyrinth, Bjorn realized how quickly the time had passed. There were only 24 hours left before the labyrinth gates opened. I clear it to you if you are confused. Bjorn can't see these pop-up windows. The next day at 8:10, they went to the Explorer Guild to receive the Unity Magic. They arrived inside the building and walked up to the counter. He asked to receive the Unity Magic. The cashier lady looked at them and wanted to make sure that it was just the two of them. Bjorn acknowledged it, telling her that she was correct, and in return, she told them to place their hands on the crystal. As they put their hands on the crystal, the lady proclaimed that 2 rank 9 explorers would have to pay 15,000 stones. It was an expensive fee considering that this was just a one-time use thing. However, it was a necessary thing to get. The Unity Magic had only one purpose. It existed so that you would spawn at the same spot in the labyrinth as your teammate. Bjorn asked the woman at the counter about what determined the rank of explorers. She told him that they judge it by the amount of essence in one's soul, which made Bjorn curious if the price would also increase with his rank. The lady told him that he was right and that it was only valid for 24 hours from now. Anyway, after they got their Unity Magic, it was time to go and eat. Einar looked like she was in love at the look of the food, wondering what the hell this was. Well, Bjorn had ordered the most expensive meal at the tavern as a last feast before entering the labyrinth. He told her that this meal cost 800 stones, as she drooled at the sight. He told her to try it, and just as she took one bite, it was all well worth it. It was almost as if she found herself to be in heaven. It felt like a dream to her. The food was way too good. This meal had motivated her. She wanted to work harder from this moment onward so that she could earn a lot of money and get this meal every day. This makes Bjorn think about what she is eating until now. After that, at midnight, There were only 10 minutes before the labyrinth would open. The guards were stopping people from entering before it began. As Bjorn was noticing the size of the humongous portal, he heard a loud commotion in the background. It was a group of freshly turned warriors. They were cheering Parthun as a great warrior. Bjorn wondered how they even managed to find their way every time. I think there is another worlder like Bjorn every time in the new group. Again, it's just my thinking. Einar, on the other hand, got sentimental looking at them. It reminded her of the good old days, which was literally just a month ago. The announcer told everyone that they could now enter. Einar got excited and told Bjorn that they should go now, but he told her to wait. Instead, he was trying to explain how an unstable portal could help them spawn closer to the second floor's gate. But she just told him to shut up about it and tell her what to do once it's time. After all, she had blind faith, and she knew that she was too dumb to understand his explanation. There was only 1 minute remaining until the gate closed, and she got a bit nervous that they weren't going to make it in time. Bjorn noticed how much smaller it had gotten than how it initially started. It was about the same size when he first went into it. As well, he was just waiting for the guard to say that it was about to close, which would be his cue. That's when he heard the guard scream out that the gate would close soon, and Bjorn was ready. He told Einar to go, and the two began to dash towards the gate. It was time for them to enter, and even though the guard tried to stop them, telling them it's dangerous as they passed through the gate, they had found themselves in complete darkness. As Bjorn opened his eyes, he knew that he was right. Bjorn was right. It was the dark region of the first floor, which made Einar panic because she couldn't see anything. He came prepared though. He had brought torches with him this time. As he entered, he saw a large concrete slab, which made Einar a bit confused as she asked him what that was. Bjorn explained that this was a monument, which they can use to open the portal gate to the second floor. This time around, they weren't going to stick around on the first floor at all. They were going to the second floor immediately. You see, beyond the barbarian, Bjorn was an expert gamer, and every pro needs to know how to utilize and exploit bugs.